Right, it is 7 o'clock. I'm going to call the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. Our first item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Deputy First Selectman, would you like to lead us?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. 4 members of the Board of Selectmen are physically present, and Selectman Baker is with us virtually, which is still allowable under the law recently passed by the legislature. So we're all present in some fashion or another. Next item is the approval of meeting minutes. Everybody's had an opportunity to review them. Questions, comments?
Move to approve the regular meeting minutes from April 21st, 2022.
Is there a second?
I'll second it for discussion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Discussion.
Yeah, I didn't see on my weekly report included in this, that was sent to that morning. And she was not.
Sent to Peg or sent to?
Oh,
No, it's here.
I see.
Sorry, Jason. Jason, this is Peg. Can you tell me what she's looking for?
She was looking for her selectmen's report, but it's here. It's on page 14.
Okay. Okay.
It's 14?
Yeah, right here, respectfully submitted. There you are.
Oh, I don't have it.
Oh,
But it's not in my packet. Okay, as long as you got it, that's all that matters. I don't have it in my packet.
no, page 14, huh?
She has no page.
Okay. As long as it's included,
It's in the filed copy. So
that's all.
any other comments or corrections on the minutes? Al? Motion's been made and seconded with no further discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yes. Okay. Bye.
Okay, so public participation. This is one of the public's 2 opportunities to address members of the board. I'm first going to ask if there's anybody here in the room who would like to address the Board of Selectmen, and then I'll turn to anybody who's online. There will be a second opportunity later in the meeting to do the same thing. Is there anyone here present who would like to address the Board of Selectmen?
I just got here.
Okay, is there anybody online who would like to address the Board of Selectmen? Okay, we'll have another opportunity later on. Under communications, we have a letter from the chairman of the Board of Education, effectively notifying us that we need to start the process of a roof replacement on the high school. It's not a surprise to anybody, but this is the first step in the process to actually make some headway on that. So this is going to be something that will pop up on our agenda from time to time. We do have a consulting firm that has worked with us on school construction projects for a long time. And I can't remember the name of the company right now. Chris Siliak is the guy's name. But so they will help us to put together the bid specs and do the application for the school reconstruction grant funds and kind of walk us through there. But at a point in time, this is going to be something that has to be taken to voters for a townwide vote. So this is just really a marker being put down so that we can start the process of replacing that. It's going to have to align somewhat with summer break. So this still may be a year or 2 off, but it's a process that has to start before we can get to it.
Financially, is there a plan for that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the school reconstruction reimbursement is, I think it's 58.5%. So the initial estimates of the project are that it would be, well, we're going to get about 60% of the cost back. Once we get to, we'll bond the whole amount, or have to be able to demonstrate that we can bond the whole amount, which in our case is not a problem. And then we go through the application process, we do the project, and then they reimburse us back from the funding source, 60% of the cost. Give or take 60%. All right, that's that. Next thing I have is South Road ownership update. All right, so this has been lingering for a while, but it hasn't really been, it's not as though there hasn't been things happening on it. We are at a point now where the Mylars on the easement, the sewer easement, can be filed. after they've been signed by the Planning and Zoning Commission. So by the middle of this month, we'll actually be able to file the Mylars and easements. And then we have an inquiry out to the town attorney as to whether or not we need to do what's called an 824 referral. That's a statutory reference that says that if the town is going to dispossess itself of a certain property, it needs to be, the Planning and Zoning Commission needs to be consulted. The open question on that is whether we've already done that or not. Because as you'll recall, Planning and Zoning Commission was involved in the subdivision of the initial parcel. So that's what the inquiry is out in terms of getting a legal opinion on, is whether or not we've satisfied that requirement or still need to satisfy that requirement. But either way, this is as close to the end of the process as we have been. So shortly, when I say shortly, my hope is within the next 6 weeks or so, we'll have a meeting with the property owners who may, or the homeowners who may become additional property owners, to explain what the benefits and liabilities are to them if we were to move forward. So it's taken a while, but it's been done right. And so I'm pretty confident that at the end of the day, we'll be able to dispossess ourselves of the property and get out of the landlord business, which we shouldn't be in, and do it in such a way so that the potential future property owners are protected. So that's going to be a win for everybody once we get there.
And what happens if anybody has a fee that we haven't paid? Is that going to be forgiven or?
We haven't crossed that bridge yet. No. So you have a copy of the sewer easement here. At some point, well, probably at the next meeting, I'm going to need authorization to sign this. But that we're waiting on the actual Mylars for the easement to be filed so that they can be referenced in the recording document. Questions or comments on that? Okay, 8C. So the leasing company that we're using for the acquisition of new apparatus for the Broadbrook Fire Department gave us a return date for all of the documentation of April 13th. All of the documentation was returned on April 11th, and they didn't honor the interest rate. So we probably will need to go back through that process again with a new rate that has, of course, gone up. I've gone back and forth with them a number of times, and I've actually looped Josh in to see if there's any legal jeopardy there, because we did our part. You know, we satisfied the obligation of returning everything that they needed by 2 days before the deadline, and they said, well, what are you going to do? So I'm not sure. Well, there'll have to be a conversation with the Broadbrook Fire Commission about how they want to proceed, but I am not happy with these people at all. Regardless, we still need to secure financing for the acquisition of the apparatus. So it's likely we'll need to do another process to move the town meeting for the increased amount. The dollar difference in terms of the actual cost of the apparatus should be less than $30,000. But still, there is the principle of the thing there that is really disheartening.
Sounds like me, it's like a breach of a contract on their part.
That's what Josh was looking into, and the question is to what degree they had committed it to writing. And I'm not sure that there was actually executed agreements on
On
anybody's
the
part.
contract itself.
Right. So there was I think it was a 10-day extension that was granted, and that's where the gray area is. So depending on to what degree we want to fight it, there is the question of whether or not they actually committed to something or just made it really, really look like they did. It's not exciting news by any stretch. It's pretty disheartening, but
And they've used this company before.
many fire departments have. They're well regarded. I think Chief Barton has experience with them. I think Shaker Pines has experience with them. And to a person, they all have really good things to say. Just, you know, it's the market that we're in right now with the interest rates going as crazy as they are, as quickly as they are. So what I'll let you guys know, and if this was something as simple as, you know, I had the authority to sign the newly drafted document, but it clearly is going to exceed what was authorized, so I don't feel like I do. And so we're gonna have to do even if it's like $30. I mean, the town meeting gave $1. You know, I can't go in excess of that. So we're gonna have to do some due diligence there, and that's gonna happen in either the second meeting this month or the first meeting in June. I'd like to postpone, no, I'm sorry, table to take it up after executive session, agenda item 8D, if we could.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I would like to postpone agenda item 8E until the next meeting, and I'll explain why on that in executive session.
Make a motion to postpone, item 8.
Is there a second?
Second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Just in case something happens between now and then, because we don't know what we're capable of, so I don't want to say next meeting, it's not gonna happen.
Oh, no, that could certainly happen. I just want to,
Yeah.
there's a development there I want to brief you guys on. Okay, so 8F, there is a statutory requirement that the town actually notice a town meeting and conduct a public hearing, not a town meeting, a public hearing around the application of a Neighborhood Assistance Act grant. This is, as you'll recall, to benefit the Trolley Museum. So after the last meeting, I submitted the application that we needed. The very nice man from DRS responded back and you said, send me the public hearing notice. And I said, well, we're not required to do a public hearing. Does the agenda count and the minutes count? And he said the statute's going to require that you have a public hearing. So we'll have a public hearing.
Okay.
So we'll have a public hearing 2 weeks from tonight, and then we'll do a final authorization from this board as part of our regular meeting following that public hearing. All right? I didn't know what it was. That need a motion for that? No, I just need to notice. Okay. Tax refund.
Move we approve the tax refunds totaling $1,357.82. Or do I have to do them separately? I have-
I just have the one.
Oh, I have two in my packet.
I have two as well.
I only have one.
So my office made the packets. Why do I only have one?
I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute, Sarah, this one,
This was,
larger one is from 4/20/22.
That's the last meeting.
Oh,
So
okay, so
that's
that
from
was,
the minutes. So the correct motion should be for $363.33.
it's bizarre because this is labeled 9A and this is labeled 9D. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll amend that to total the tax refunds totaling $363.33.
Second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Selectmen's reports. So I'll lead off with the budget. This coming Tuesday, May 10th, voters in East Windsor will be asked to consider the fiscal year 22-23 budget proposal put forth by the Board of Finance. The proposal is a mill rate increase of 0.07 mils or 0.2%. The average homeowner in the town of East Windsor would see their annual tax bill go up by $11 for the year on their home to support the budget. And taxpayers within the jurisdiction of the Broadbrook Fire Department will see no increase at all for fire service. Voting will take place between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. at the usual voting locations. Over the last couple of weeks, I have enjoyed business visits with the Syme Family Farm, Hotcakes, the Butchery, Harkins Market, and the Warehouse Point Fire Department, to name a couple. Getting out and interacting with our small business community serves a number of purposes. It opens lines of communications between that business community and the town. It offers an opportunity to support and promote our diverse small business community and to get feedback from within that community as to what the town can be doing better to support small business growth locally. On April 28th, I was pleased to join the East Windsor Economic Development Commission for a meet and greet that with small businesses and town staff. I have to say, I was very pleased with the turnout for that event and that people are showing up with a growing interest in locating and sustaining their businesses in East Windsor. Thanks to the EDC for hosting and for the opportunity to share some of the things that East Windsor is working on to retain and attract businesses. On Friday, April 29th, we welcomed Naturally Dogs and Cats to the town of East Windsor. Formerly located in Hartford, right downtown, They came to East Windsor in part because of the communication and collaboration that they've seen between the town and the community. They're located right in Bassdale Plaza, and they sell delicious treats for pets, and they offer grooming services as well. We're excited to see revitalization come to that plaza, and the new owners are doing a good job encouraging that. In the next meeting or two, the Board of Selectmen will be looking at an initial draft of a proposed blight ordinance. Staff has been diligently working on that for a number of months, and it is now ready for the Selectmen to review. After they take a look at it, it'll be reviewed by the town attorney for legal sufficiency, followed by a vote at town meeting. This is something I've had several residents ask for and is certainly long overdue. Our existing property maintenance code is unenforceable, and this new ordinance will be a much more effective way of combating some of that. Starting this week, the town has instituted 2 new bulk waste disposal programs. Residents will be able to drop off bulk materials at DPW Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 3. And residents also will be able to call and schedule for a curbside collection at their homes for certain bulk items, which will be collected each Friday of recycling week. A small fee applies to both programs, and you can call DPW for more information. This Saturday, the Broadbrook Angling Club will be sponsoring the Youth Fishing Derby at East Windsor Park. Registration starts at 7 a.m. and fishing will be from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Participants will need to provide their own bait. The event is free for children 16 and under, but donations for the local food pantry will be gratefully accepted. Summer camp registrations are now open. Cost for campers is $200 per week, and campers can be anywhere from ages 4 years old to 11 years old. So they're all in for Elliott next year. And parents and campers can find more information about this summer's programming by visiting eastwindsorrec.com. And lastly, the East Windsor National Honor Society is doing a bottle and can drive this year, next Saturday, the 14th. They are taking all types of returnable cans and plastic bottles, but no glass, please. Proceeds for the drive will go towards the local chapter and the projects that they do in the community. Marie, it's been a quiet stretch. Sarah.
Okay, on April 28th, I also attended the meet and greet here at Town Hall, held by the Economic Development Commission. And I agree, it was well attended with a lot of business owners, a lot of new faces too, which was really great to see everyone networking. I did have the pleasure of meeting our new zoning enforcement officer. And it was a real pleasure hearing about her future goals, and she's really excited to be here in town. Kudos to Ruth Ann Calabrese, Jim Richards, and the Economic Development Commission on a job well done promoting the business community here in town. And there was also a really great presentation given by Jason.
Thank you.
Due to a work commitment, I was unable to attend the Economic Development meeting on Tuesday, and thank you to Selectman Nordell for attending in my place. East Windsor Parks and Recreation will hold the 3rd and final meeting on the town parks master plan on Monday, May 9th at 6 p.m. at the Town Hall Annex. Input from residents regarding their vision for the future of parks and recreation services, programs, facilities, and recreation is strongly encouraged. And lastly, I'd like to acknowledge the recent and sudden passing of Albert Ziegler, who was a member of our Arts and Culture Commission. Al was such an enthusiastic participant in meetings, and he had so many great ideas that I hope the commission will implement in the future. My sincere condolences to his family, and don't forget to go out and vote in the budget referendum on Tuesday. That's all I have.
Charlie.
Okay, I have a lot of things, but I don't have everything organized because it's been. Last Monday on the 25th of April, I did attend the unofficial meeting of the BMX and skate park commission. They are still looking for members, if anyone's interested in joining them. And then let's see what else. Later that week, I also attended the business meeting on the 28th, which was a great event. Jason's presentation was wonderful, and I thought it was a good turnout as well. Well, let's see, who did I miss here? Oh, and before that, the night before, I attended the Board of Ed meeting at the high school. It was a short meeting because they had a long executive session prior to going into that meeting. So they kept it short and sweet, but reporting wise, prom happened last Friday. The kids in, I think, the Middle school are taking their SBACs, state testing this week. And that was pretty much it from them. On this past Monday, I was at the Warehouse Point Fire Department's budget vote, which passed with a good amount of people attending that and passing the budget for the Warehouse Point Fire Department for next year's budget. They will have a mill rate of 1.95, which is an increase of 0.05 mills over last year. And let's see, Tuesday. When was my Tuesday? EDC. Sarah there. Yep. EDC was another good meeting. It was short as well. They talked about how their event was a good turnout and things that were discussed and happened at that event. They're also looking at a plan for how they could expand parking here in downtown Broadbrook and propose that. Apparently when the Upper House holds events, they're having a tough time with parking and supporting everyone that needs to park. And I guess the plaza across the street is not in support of helping them with that. So they're looking for ways as to how that could be expanded. They're also trying to plan a summertime shop tour, kind of an incentive. I guess that's in collaboration with you and your plan that you have to try and get restaurants and shops involved over the summer to improve business and, basically town tourism.
I'll say that the uptake on that so far has been not great.
No,
No.
by the businesses
Yeah.
themselves, yeah.
So when I get back from my time away, I'm actually gonna hit the phones and
Yeah, it does seem like it could have some issues with planning and how it would be executed, but I like the principle of the idea. I thought it had a lot of merit and could be very, very good for businesses. But again, I don't own or run a business, so I don't have to deal with that part of it, so. And that may be it. I didn't have anything last night. Yep, that's it.
thank you, Charlie.
Second.
Al.
All right, so the Agricultural Commission didn't meet due to the fact that they didn't have a quorum. Apparently, the farmers on the commission were farming. So that was understandable, I guess. Conservation Commission is held the same night. The discussion was largely about replenishing the open space fund and different strategies to do that. They also did discuss kind of related refreshing their inventory of farms or not just farms, but plots that are 30 acres and above. So they can send letters to those folks, letting them know the different programs that are available to them for preserving their land if they were interested. But so they are drafting a letter that they want to circulate widely in town that would really kind of be kind of a call to action for the citizens to either, if they have land that can be conserved and they want to conserve it, or if they just want to see more land conserved, to participate as a group in funding the open space fund, so we can be ready the next time that that something comes up that is worth conserving, like recently the Rye Street property that was done. But a lot of this discussion was centered around really as a defense against more solar in town. So as one of the tools that could be used to mitigate the amount of solar that is going in our area would be to intercede and try to buy the property before a deal was made with the solar company, or just conserve the land prior to even any deals were in place. So They will be sending that to at least Jason and I think to the Board of Selectmen for our review at least. And they would like to, I think, put it on the town Facebook page, as well as, you know, they're planning on doing mailings and whatnot. So they really want to raise the awareness of, you know, how we can conserve different pieces of land in our town. And the fact that the one way that we really can take matters into our own hands is to fund the open space fund, which I wholeheartedly agree with. And so I'm looking forward to hearing more from them in the next couple months about that. That's it.
All right, thank you very much. Any comments? We're now on public participation part 2. Anybody here present wish to address the board? Yes, sir.
Buckley, Kings Court. We were talking about interest on the loan on that fire apparatus. Has the interest rate itself been locked in?
Not yet. That was what the problem was.
The prime rate just went up.
Yeah.
It could be an issue. Curious. Would be more than what you're saying. Additional price of 30.
I think the commission has a new quote already that is being held until June 12th. So that's where that number comes from, is based on whatever the new rate number is. Okay. Let's hope it holds.
I'd like to see that, yes. Lock it in.
How's that? Yep. Is there anybody online who would like to address the board? I don't see anybody but Alan and Peg. So we will have an executive session. It will be just the 5 members of the board. Action will follow. Can I have a motion to go to executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're in executive session at 7:27. We're out of executive session at 8:12 p.m. One further item of business to discuss, agenda item 8D. Selectman Muska.
I'll move we take up, I'll move to postpone agenda item 8D, discussion of Winbrook Home Developers Agreement, and would like to request the presence of Mr. Von Hollander at a future Board of Selectmen meeting to obtain additional information.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Is there any further business to come before the Board of Selectmen?
Move that we adjourn at 8:13 p.m.
Is there a second? Made and seconded. Motion by Charlie, seconded by Sarah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:13 p.m.